Right, we're going to go through this again. I've bought my 1290 for a service at DMC in Birmingham, and they've kindly lent me the 1390 for a few days. The wonderful chap Yanis is going to go through it. So let's do this again then.
Well, let's do this again. It's all right. I'll just waffle some more. Right, we'll turn it on. We've got nice new animation on the dash now, because again, it's celebrating 30 years of Duke now that they've been out for. So we've already started the bike, so now the temperature is saying okay. But usually when the bike's cold, it'll say temperature low, and it'll also give you a rev limiter. It won't basically allow you to rev the bike past 6,000 when the bike's cold.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's just basically to limit any sort of damage on the engine.
Yep.
So going through the dash, pretty self-explanatory really. We've got neutral light and gear indicator there, time, temperature, what riding mode you're in, ABS mode, MTC, so traction control, suspension preload, it's an auto standard at the moment, and then rebound is in automatic as well. We can customize these bottom ones, so you can go through the settings and pick which sort of things you want to see there. But we'll go through the actual dash now. So if we go into motorcycle here, so we've got riding modes. So we've got sports, track mode. So track mode changes a lot of the things. So if I go back to the main dash, you can see that the dash is completely different now.
Yeah.
And if I go up and down, it changes the dash completely. If I go into the settings now, we've got lap timers and other settings now as well. We've got different sessions, like you can set reference laps and things like that. So it's pretty well sort of laid out for track. So if I go out of that, performance mode is very similar to track mode. It gives you the adjustment of the slip on the dash, but it gives you the standard dash. So it gives you your speed, your gear indicator and things like that in the standard sort of manner. Go to rain mode. Rain mode basically just completely dulls the bike down to 120 brake.
Yeah.
And the traction controls fully whacked on as well. Street mode, just not a normal mode, and then sports mode just basically opens up the throttle response a bit more. Engine braking, so we can adjust the engine braking electronically now on the bike. You can have it in standard, so medium bit of engine braking. We can have more engine braking, +1, +2, or we can have less engine braking, -1, -2 as well. But we'll leave that on standard now. Factory start is when we're in track mode. It basically does the whole MotoGP thing, where it drops the back end down. So basically allows the bike to start better.
Less chance of wheeling as well.
Less chance of wheeling, but again, anti-wheelie would pick that up as well. So it works in conjunction with that. But it just basically allows you to get off the line a bit quicker. ABS mode, road, and supermoto mode. So basically, supermoto mode just allows you to lock up the back wheel without engaging the traction, ABS. Sorry. So, but we'll leave that on road. MTC and MSR, so that's on. So basically traction control and quick shifters on as well. So quick shifter plus up and down.
Yep.
So if we go into suspension, so this is where a lot of the big differences are with the Evo and the standards. So we've got a lot to go through here. So dampening, at the moment it's in automatic mode. So the bike reads what you're doing and works together with the IMU and the ECU to tell you what the bike is doing, what the road is doing, and it adjusts itself 60 times a second. So you basically get the perfect setting each and every second of your ride. But if you don't want that, if you don't want it on automatic, if you think that the bike's being a little bit vague, which sometimes you can get that feeling with the automatic suspension, you can put it in different settings. So we've got rain, so basically just softens the bike up quite a lot. Just makes it a bit more compliant in the rain. Comfort, it just makes it more comfortable to ride. So if you're going on the motorway, you'll probably stick it in comfort and things like that. So the bike's not as hard. Street, so just basically standard setting. Or we've got sports, so just stiffens it up a little bit more. And then we've got track modes as well, so you can have custom settings that you want for, say, different tracks, and you've got 3 of those, and then 3 of the pro ones as well. So basically very similar to the track. Preload adjuster, so it's an auto standard, so it still automatically adjusts the preload as you're riding. but in a standard setting. You've got auto high, so it just basically jacks the back end up a little bit. And then you've got manual settings as well, from 0 to 100%, in 5% increments. And then auto low, so it just basically brings the back end quite low. And then we'll leave it on auto standard. Anti-dive, I think we touched on anti-dive a little bit before we started filming the video. What it basically does when it's on, when anti-dive is on, it won't let the bike dip too far down forwards, and I don't really personally like anti-dive, but it's all personal preference really. So just turn it on, see what you think. You've never ridden a bike with electronic suspension, so
I haven't. No, you're totally right there. This is totally new to me. Electronic
so I'll probably
suspension.
leave it on off for now, and then bike info. So tire pressures. Again, you need to be doing about 5 miles an hour for the sensors to kick in and activate.
That's something I sort of like. I have a little niggle with my bike because you have to be rolling to see the tyre pressures. You can't just fire the bike up and it'll give you the pressure readings.
That's only because they're sealed units and they've only got tiny batteries in them. And once the battery goes in the tyre pressure monitors, you need to replace the sensor, and they're about over 100 quid a sensor.
Oh,
so it just basically saves the battery on the sensors. Because, like I said, they're sealed units, so they need to be replaced when the battery goes. But they've got a lifespan of about 5 years or so it shouldn't ever need changing.
I say, so I need to get rid of mine in the next 12 months then.
Yeah, exactly. So water temperatures, so the bike's been running for a bit while we've been talking, and oil temperature, fuel range, it's got a bit of fuel in it, and battery, because we've been chatting, it's getting quite low now, odometer, service, and warnings. So the warning there is the side stand one that's on at the moment. Trips. So you've got the different trips, trip 1 to trip 2, same as anything else really. And then you've got your media controls there. Once you've connected your phone, those will become accessible. So in the settings, there's not much that's new, but a few things that are different to your bike. Connectivity, that's where you'll connect your phone, but it uses the same app. So once you connect your phone, you'll have access to all that. It's pretty self-explanatory how to connect it. Shift light, we can't do anything with that at the moment until the first service is good. Button lighting, we can just turn the buttons either on or off with how bright you want them if you're riding at night quite a lot. Coming home light, very similar to a car, so once you turn the bike off, it'll keep the headlight on for a bit while you open your door or something, but I don't know if that's very practical in this country. Lighting system, so you can, if you've taken the lights off and you're running it on track, you can literally turn the lighting system off and you won't get any warning lights, but we'll turn that on. Daytime running lights, so it just basically turns the LEDs on around the outside. TPMS settings, so we've touched on the tire pressures, but we can set our own custom tire pressures now, or we can have no warnings at all.
So ideal for somebody on the track.
Yeah, exactly.
Because obviously they're going to be running low pressures.
Yeah, exactly. So it just eliminates that those niggly warning lights. So people previously would run Super Dukes on track and run really low tire pressures, and they'd constantly have to deal with the constant errors and the constant warning lights coming up on the dash. Anti-relay attacks. So we know keyless bikes and keyless cars can be cloned if you don't keep them in a Faraday cage. So what that does when it's on, there's a button on the key. You've got to press that button on the key and activate the key. That wakes up the key, and then that's the only time that the bike will recognize that key.
I think that's a great idea.
It is, especially if you're keeping your keys quite close to the garage, or you're keeping your key in the garage somewhere, and someone tries to steal your bike or relay that. They won't be able to turn the bike on.
Yeah.
But we keep that off at the moment for the demo bikes, because it's a bit of a faff having to press the key, the button on the key.
Yeah, I can understand it. Different people jumping on and off the bike.
Yeah, exactly. But we do recommend customers keeping that on in an ideal scenario. Clock and date, units, language, extra functions. So it basically tells what this bike's got installed. This bike's got everything installed on it at the moment because it's our demo. So we can scroll through that, and it's got all the different sort of optional extra packs installed, and there is 15 of them. So yeah, that's everything. So hopefully the bike will start now because the battery is a bit on the low side, but it should.
Time for me to go and have a play. Leave mine here to get it serviced, and let's go and check out some of the new features on this bike. Right, straight off the bat, this is smoother. The engine feels smoother, the ride feels smoother, which is probably down to the suspension, obviously. It's in, Yanis left it in auto. I've got this for a few days, so I'll be playing around with it. Early shift light, obviously, because it's only done 3 miles. Ergonomics wise, it's very similar. Seating position, riding position. Does seem either the same or very similar to the Gen 3. So first impressions, wow. I know, you know, I haven't even booted it or anything like that. Everything else, the controls, same as the Gen 3, everything's so familiar. It's not a brand new system that you have to learn. The dash is new. There's a lot more on there now. There's a lot more information. Turns, it feels lighter. It's probably not the right thing. It just seems to turn into corners better. Again, down to suspension, I guess. My 1290, I do need to have the suspension set up properly. I've got a feeling I'm not going to want to hand this back Tuesday. From a rider view, I'm not too keen on this straight bar here with the indicators there in the line of view. Mirror position is the same. This is different design. Stating the obvious here, I know. It's how this thing's going to ride. And also, let's pop it into 6. Because that's where the 1290, the Gen 3, doesn't like sitting in 6. And this is doing fine. A lot of vibration on the brake fluid reservoir there. Feels quite smooth as well. You know, we used to get because of the Euro 5 stuff, it's more noticeable on the 690 than it is on the 1290. But just first gear, slow moving traffic, doesn't feel like you're going to have to constantly ride the clutch. Punchy enough. Boom, 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 straight down on the quick shifter. Absolutely amazing. Even with the engine braking on its max, -2, it doesn't feel sharp. You know, it's not like, although I've not ridden the Gen 1 or 2 where the engine braking was fierce, I've ridden an S30,000 where that thing, once you come off the throttle, I wanted to throw you over the handlebars. This doesn't seem so harsh. So very different dash layout when you got it in track. Obviously got a lap timer. Standard exhaust doesn't sound too bad, but you know you got to swap it out. You know, it is quite smooth. I deliberately came down this road because I know it's going to be stop-start crappy traffic. So, although even I've got the throttle on track, which is obviously quite sharp. Really, for traffic like this, you'd want it on the street, or is it comfort? I can't remember one, but you probably want it on a softer throttle. But it's not bad. Oh dear. I'm saying oh dear because it's already going through my head. What I'd get for my 1290 and the extra I'd have to put towards this. Not with having the 690. If I didn't have the 690, then potentially I would look at swapping out, even with this brief ride that I've had. Hey, voiceover time. Now, the conclusion to this is, would I buy this bike? As it stands, no. And it has nothing to do with the bike itself. The bike is fantastic. If I was in the market again, I would definitely go and buy this bike. I loved it. The simple fact of the price and how much I'll get for my 1290. Non-Evo version is $17,999, where the Evo version with electronic suspension is $19,599. You may get a better deal from your dealership, but for me, I'd have to stump up around the £8,000 or £9,000 mark. And for me, the bikes just aren't different enough to be able to do that, or to want to do that. So for me, I'll be sticking with my 1290. You may not. You may want to upgrade to the 1390. Let me know if you do. Let me know your comments below. Take care and ride safe.